the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you are just joining us this week, yesterday we launched the Gazelle debit card brought to you by Ramsey. Thank you to the thousands and thousands and thousands of you that have already registered and already gone and gotten the app and applied, and we're getting your Gazelle cards printed and out to you immediately. This is the debit card that helps you spend and save the Ramsey way. No, we're not becoming a bank. Believe me, I don't want all those regulations, but there is a bank that does this, and we're the front end skin of it, marketing, so to speak. And hey, it comes with a debit card, a spending account, a mobile app, and it connects seamlessly with every dollar. Be sure and check it out. Already got people in the lobby holding theirs up. It is by far the coolest looking debit card ever made, and that's really not an exaggeration. It's really sharp, isn't it?
It's very sharp.
I mean, the Gazelle looks pretty intense. We told the audience yesterday, we talked about putting a red eye in him, but he looked like a devil dog then, so we didn't do the red eye because it didn't want a devil dog. We wanted a Gazelle. And so, but it's made for you guys. And, you know, some of these cards they got more fees than a French poodle. I mean, it's fee everywhere. And we don't have all those fees, okay? We don't fee you to death. We're not going to try to make money off of you selling you debt. We don't run a nice commercial with pretty little people and then get you 22% in debt like SoFi does. We're just really going to just help you handle your money with a debit card. It's real simple. So go to RamseySolutions.com/Gazelle. You can get started. It's certainly free to start your account, and we're not going to hit you with so many fees that you think you're a French poodle. So just be ready. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's pretty incredible. And you know, kind of when you do your groceries with this, or you're out in public, you're kind of making a statement. You know, like I am in control of my money. I'm not spending like I'm in Congress, you know? I mean, it's just like your little Gazelle card just says I'm part of the tribe, man. And it's all free. You electronically transfer your stuff in. It's FDIC insured, so be sure you don't miss out. RamseySolutions.com/Gazelle. You can get started. The big public launch was yesterday, and so you're seeing it everywhere, including the front page of the Fox website from an interview George and I did yesterday morning that they've already popped up there. Thank you, Fox and Fox Business. We appreciate the coverage. So tons of good things going on. All right, let's jump to the phones. Nick is with us in Virginia. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Christina. I got my Gazelle card a few weeks ago. I'm holding it high right now.
All right. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. All right. We need to put like a light on it so you can hold it up like a cell phone, right? Have a concert. All right. What's up, man? How can we help?
Yeah, Dave. So I'm moving from D.C. to Greenville, South Carolina. We're looking to buy a home in December and then selling our current home in D.C. in February. I've listened to the Real Estate Reality Check. I read the blog post. I think you put out a month after that. I'm just still worried, you know. It might sound ridiculous, but I'm still worried about housing prices crashing, getting stuck in between two houses, everything like that. I'd love to hear some more of your thoughts on that and some more reassurance.
Well, I mean, since Washington continues to layer stupid upon stupid, there's a lot of reason for us to be a little worried. I mean, it's, you know, you just keep watching them. I mean, how many more dumb things can you people do up there? And so not you personally, but I'm just saying D.C., you know, the politicians, the freaking White House has lost its mind economically. It's the worst economy inflation-wise in 40 years. So, yeah, I can understand you being concerned. I mean, I kind of look over my shoulder and I know the data and I'm real comfortable with the facts, but your emotions do creep up on you. I don't blame you for that. I can understand that. I went and talked to one of my friends that's a custom home builder this weekend, and he goes, yeah, it changed because I got no customers. They were lined up around the block, and he's got no customers. So, yeah, it's changed. And he's talking about building stuff next summer, you know, that kind of a thing. a year from now, and so that, which is not far from your time frame. So, but all that to say, yeah, I emotionally agree with you, but the facts are still there. There is still 4 buyers for every house that's up for sale. The facts, recent data, as you know, I read 2 articles on the air yesterday, George and I did, that are coming out with fresh data, even out of California, which is really experiencing some problems because of the mass exodus. And we've got a California refugee problem in Tennessee, and so, but this still is affecting things, but the data nationwide for Greenville, South Carolina, and for Arlington, Virginia, is still that there's about 4 buyers for every house that's for sale. Now, that they're not as active and they're not as frenzied as they were, but that was an unusual frenzy for about 2.5 years we went through there. I've been in the real estate business since 1978. I've never seen people act like that before. Usually it takes about 90 days to sell a house, and you're going to get a couple of offers, and none of them are full price. And that's a normal house selling process over the last 40 or 50 years. You're going to experience that. And you don't have to rush over and overpay for something when you get to Greenville, South Carolina. You're going to be able to walk around, look at houses, and make an offer and think about it and, use a normal buying process too. Now, what I would do, and I would do this in any economy, is I would not buy a house until yours is sold.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay. What's the reasoning for buying in December and selling in February?
Just the slow process of moving. My wife's wrapping up her job, so it's that really. She's from Greenville, South Carolina, so we know it very well. I mean, I've been there probably once or twice every year, once or twice a year for the last 10 years. So I just kind of want to do.
If you end up with 2 house payments, you're going to become what's called a motivated seller.
Well, the other house is almost paid off, so I could literally write a check today and pay it off.
Okay, well, if you want to pay it off and sit on it. But here's the thing. Even that, with it sitting up there empty, and you're paying taxes and insurance and utilities, and you got to keep it all nice and proper so it can be shown, you're going to reach a point emotionally that you become a motivated seller. I want rid of this thing. I want that chapter of my life closed. So be real careful with that, because I don't want you to give it away because you create a situation for yourself. So I personally would rethink that and say, I'm not buying until mine sells. And if that means you rent for 6 months in Greenville, or you do some other plan, you do some corporate housing in Arlington because you sell the house out from under yourself in December, and your wife has some things to close up then, that's fine. But I'm going to change the logistics to flip-flop on that, where I buy 90 days after I sell, or at least 9 days after I sell. And that'll take a lot of stress off of this. Hey, good question, man. Thanks for letting us discuss it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, I want to share something exciting our team has been working on for well over a year. We've built a brand new debit card that helps you spend and save the Ramsey way. It's called Gazelle. The Gazelle debit card works the same as your standard debit card with the same FDIC protections provided by our bank partner, Pathward, NA, member FDIC. With Gazelle, your privacy is important. We won't sell your personal information, which means you won't have debt pushed on you. Imagine not having an inbox full of credit card offers coming at you every week. The Gazelle debit card eliminates these distractions and helps you attack your money goals fast. Plus, it offers benefits others don't, like no monthly fees and a seamless connection with every dollar. And did I mention we won't push debt on you? Guys, your money is your money. You work hard. You're Gazelle intense. And now your debit card is too. Get the Gazelle debit card and take control of your money for good. Go to RamseySolutions.com/Gazelle to sign up. That's RamseySolutions.com/Gazelle.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. JW is with us in Atlanta. Hi, JW. How are you?
Hey, how are y'all?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So I just started listening to you about a month ago. I never really known about you or anything, and I'm trying to figure out how much of a stupid butt millennial I am and what baby step that I'm on, which way I should be focusing my gazelle intensity. I'm kind of lost at the moment, and I don't really know which way to go.
Well, tell us about your situation right now. How much debt do you have?
The only debt that I have is my house. I've never owned a credit card, and I've never bought anything that I couldn't pay for.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a good start. Tell us
you may know a stupid butt millennial, but you're not one of them. Okay, so we've already got that ahead. All right.
But I am curious, why do you think you're making stupid butt decisions?
Well, I mean, some of what you guys say is, I've always just kind of done it off of common sense or what I believed was common sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, so I'm trying to figure out.
Well, the only difference is I sell it.
I know that you guys normally promote paying off all your debt before you start putting money into your 401k or
not counting your
kids'
house
college funds.
Yeah, not counting your house.
Okay, so
your house, you're debt free
house.
except your house. You said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's
yes,
great.
Sir. And I bought my house about 5 years ago. I owe about another 5 years, and it'll be paid off.
How old are you?
32.
Way to go, dude.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Yeah, that's excellent. So you would be in baby steps 4 through 6 right now, which it sounds like you're investing right now. How much are you investing into retirement?
I put 30% of my paycheck into my IRA.
Okay. Well, we typically recommend 15% of your income, and then baby step 5 is paying for your kids' college. Do you have kids?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'd want you saving in a 529 plan and then paying off your house early, which it sounds like you're already really motivated in doing that. You could just increase that a bit, take some of that 30%, take 15% of that, and throw that towards your house. But you're doing awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, the only fine tune we might do is turn down your retirement a little bit, down to 15. Make sure you're doing something for your kids if you're not already, and dumping all it on the house. So the house might be done in like 3 years.
Oh, that'd be great because it stresses me out big time.
And then if it was done in like 3 years instead of 5 years, because you're only putting 15% in retirement instead of 30, you following me? If that happened, then you would be at what we call baby step 7. And when you're there, that's the last baby step. That's just build wealth and give. And you max out all retirement, and you pile up cash, and you're outrageously generous. And you've lived like no one else, and now you're ready to live and give like no one else.
Man, I will say, JW, you surprised me. When you said stupid bet decisions, I was ready for something juicy.
we were thinking you might be the caller of the week, but no, you're just a smart guy. I mean, you're way ahead of the curve. Yeah, the stuff we teach is common sense. It's God's and Grandma's ways of handling money. It lines up with what the scriptures teach about money and what Grandma, or these days great grandma, because some grandmas today ain't getting common sense, but some great grandma. For sure. It used to be called common sense to live on less than you make, always have some money set aside for an emergency, always being, planning for the future, called retirement and kids' college, always be avoiding debt. If you can't pay for something, that means you don't need to buy it. It keeps you out of debt. It's a different mentality than 90-something% of the public has today. And so Christina and I got a big job.
Right. But the thing is it's not complicated. I think part of the reason that he thought he wasn't winning with money was because he's like, this is simple. Like, I've been following these principles and it's common sense. Since it's simple, I must be doing something wrong. But it really is simple.
Well,
it's not easy, but it's
there
simple.
is this thing out there, and it's been there for the whole 30 years I've been on the air. I've noticed it, is that and I actually have fallen prey to it in the past, not in a long, long time, but there's this thing that if it's not complicated, it must not be good. when it comes to money. Like if it's real simple, it must be wrong. Because, I mean, it has to be complicated if it's money. It has to be hard to understand if it's money. If it's not sophisticated, it must be wrong. And the truth is the stuff we teach and the stuff that works the best is very easy to understand but hard to do because you have to control the idiot in your mirror. And the guy in my mirror is my problem. If I can get that guy to behave, he can be skinny and rich. But he's got issues. And, that's a problem. I like donuts. It's a problem. It's a problem. And so, we all have this. And, Rachel likes Amazon Prime. Click, 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 click. And stuff keeps showing up on her porch. It's like, turn that thing off. And so we all do this stuff, right? And if we can control our behaviors, personal finance is 80% behavior. That's why it feels like it should be harder. It should be more complicated. But when you actually face the demons, it is hard. Because it's the demons that are the problem. It's not the math. The math's easy.
Right.
And but yeah, JW, we always say around here that common sense is so rare. If you get it, it's like having a superpower. All right, Noah is with us in Chicago. Hey, Noah, what's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Just have a quick question. My wife and I, we have some student loans. We have a Roth IRA with an amount that could just about pay off all of the student loans. Would you recommend that we cash that out and just pay off the student loans and be done with it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. How much is in your student loans?
About $30,000.
And what's your household income?
6 figures.
Well, what's 6 figures? 900,000 or 105,000?
120,000.
Okay, good. Good for you. Well done. How old are you guys?
We are 25.
Good for you. Okay. I would stop adding to your Roth IRA because you've been aggressively investing while not paying off your student loan.
Okay.
And if you stop adding to your IRA and stop adding to anything except attacking these student loans, they become your singular mathematical focus. Do nothing but attack those things with a freaking vengeance. Like, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to have those things paid off in about 18 months if you do that.
Okay.
$2,500 a month, you're done in a year.
Well, and that feeling that you feel right now, that desire to quickly get it all paid off, that's a good feeling. Just use that to turn it into gazelle intensity, to use that motivation to do the work day in, day out, to knock out baby step 2 and pay off those loans. But the fact that you feel that kind of gross feeling where you're like, ugh, I want these out of my life, like lean into that and use that as motivation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you have a bottle whatever feelings you've got, negative or positive, and point them at these loans. And that's, it's like anything where you're feeling real positive, but anything where you're pissed off or scared, aim it at that and then get it. Get after it. Stop all the stupid. No going out to eat. No vacations. We're cleaning this mess up. These aren't pets. They're loans. Get rid of them.
Well, y'all make good money, so you can knock this out pretty quick. And the sacrifices, the not going out to eat, the not going on vacation, it's just for a season. And once these are gone, you're 25 years old. You're going to have such freedom after that and time to really invest.
I was cracking up. We've got these glass boards that are like 3 feet by 2 feet that we have outside the studio. When people do their debt-free screams in the studio here or in the lobby, they sign there's how much debt they paid, their name, the date, that kind of stuff. And I was walking, and then every time they get full, we move the glass boards, and they're all over the building from all the years of the debt-free scream. So people get to walk around. I walked past one of them that we just put up the other day, and a guy, he paid off $93,000 in student loans, and the note was, "Suck it, Sally Mae." I was cracking up. So that's it. Give old Sally Mae the old eviction notice. Put the old woman in the street. She ain't paying her rent. She needs to go. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225 in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Greg and Amber are with us. Hi, Greg and Amber. How are you?
Hey, we're
Very
doing
well.
great.
Thank you.
Good to have you guys. Where do y'all live?
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$134,000.
Excellent. How long did that take?
30 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that 2.5 years?
We started about $100,000 and we'll be at about $180,000 this year.
Whoa! What do y'all do for a living?
So I'm a sales engineer.
I'm a registered nurse,
Ah, okay. All the work you want, huh?
pretty much.
Oh, and some more. Yeah. Wow. Way to go, guys. Okay. What kind of debt was the 134?
Well, it was the majority student loans, about $80,000 in student loans, and we had a van payment in there.
Basement.
Yeah, we had to fix our basement. We bought a new house, had to fix the basement. Dog
Medical
surgery,
bills.
medical bills, a little bit of credit card.
Wow. Good for you guys. So what was the wake-up call? What got you going on this?
Well, we really got intense about 2.5 years ago. But it all started, I think, in 2008. We were married. We'd been married a few years. I had a good job. I got laid off. When the recession hit, I got laid off. And that was a really scary moment for us. Right after I got laid off, we found out we were having our first child.
Oh, that's perfect timing.
So it was a really scary. It was really terrifying. So after that, I mean, I worked any job I could. I worked night shift remodeling a Walmart store, and we really worked for the next 10 years to kind of get back to where we were. We lost everything. We almost lost our house to foreclosure. Luckily, we didn't. And then in 2015, we took the Ramsey Solutions course at a church.
Financial Peace University.
Yep, Financial Peace University.
Okay.
We were kind of Dave-ish for a while. Mm-hmm. We would be on board, and something would happen, and we would fall off the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what happened 30 months ago? Because you turned it up, man. You went game on.
Yep. So
what happened?
So January 2020, we decided we're going to do it. We got the Every Dollar app. We were going forward, and then COVID hit, and it felt an awful lot like 2008. And we did not want to do that again. So Amber went back to work. We worked as hard as we could, and we just kicked it into high gear and said no more.
So not this time. Not this time. This time when it comes around, we're going to kick it.
Yes.
Yep.
And it resulted in everything being cleared out in 30 months.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the income jump, was that you, Amber, working during COVID, just picking up
Yes.
shifts like crazy?
Yeah, I essentially took a weekend, but I work every weekend night. And that was really the only thing that worked with. We also homeschool, so that was the best way to work with our schedule.
Yeah.
I can homeschool the kids. And then Greg travels a lot for his job, so it kind of keeps some stability. And then I go into work Friday night and come back Sunday morning.
With six kids, you can't do it any other way.
With 6
So
kids,
yeah,
yeah.
that's very real. Good for you guys. Well done, y'all. Well done. Are you tired?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with 6 kids.
but it was all worth it.
Yes.
Okay.
So what did
we ever go back in debt?
No.
Never. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Are you going to play on through now and become wealthy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good. I want you to be Baby Steps millionaires. I'm proud of y'all.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Well done, you guys.
I love that you took the fear that you felt in 2008. You saw 2020 coming, and you took that fear and you just went to action. Instead of curling back, instead of living in the fear, you used it to push you forward and really push ahead.
Yes.
That's just incredible. What other things did y'all do to get out of debt? So you worked like crazy. Did you just buckle down? I mean, having 6 kids, that's a lot of groceries.
It is. Yeah. Our grocery bill is astounding.
Yeah. We have a lot of groceries. But yeah, I mean, it was really we worked. She worked every weekend, so we didn't see each other very much. I didn't have.
Couldn't go anywhere.
We didn't really do anything, so it kind of worked out, and we buckled down, cut the budget as much as we could.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Y'all are awesome. Did people think you were crazy in the midst of this? Like in the midst of everybody hunkering down and hiding, you guys are out there just going for it. Did people think you were nuts?
I think there's already a stigma attached when you have as many children as we do and homeschooling and
So you're like, we don't care.
It comes with the package.
You're used to stigma.
People
we
are weird
do
anyway, so-
stigma. We do it a lot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. That's funny. That's good. I like that. We already did stigma. Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
Well, each
kids.
other, our kids for sure, and then our parents. Our parents helped out a lot watching when we did have something on the weekends. The helping out and watch the kids. And
Yeah.
when I was working during the week and Amber needed help, so
Yeah, that's good. Good
Yeah.
moms and dads. That's good stuff. Good grandparents. Excellent job, you guys. Well done, well done. Well, we've got a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you, of the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you, both #1 bestsellers. If you've read them, give them away. If you hadn't read them, read them and then give them away. And also a 1-year subscription to Financial Peace University, the new version with the new videos in it. And if you want to go through it, that's fine. If you want to give it away, that's fine. So it's all
Awesome.
for
Thank
you
you.
guys. It's the Live and Give bundle there for you. And let's bring the kiddos up. Give us their names and ages.
Okay, so we have Noah, who's 13. We have Jack, who's 9. Sam is 8. David's 6. Esther's 4. Andrew's 2. And then we have a new one due in March.
All
so
right.
we'll have a bigger family.
Wow, that's fun. Good for you guys. Well done, well done.
I do want you to speak really quick to the parents who have several kids who are drowning in debt and feel like they can't do it. What would you say to them?
You can do it. Yeah. You can do it. It just takes, you just work hard and get sick and tired of being sick and tired, I guess. That's, it's tiring, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You guys are walking proof of that.
Yeah, there's
just
no
continue
question.
to be faithful, even in the small things. That's where it adds up.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly
good.
true. Well done, you guys. Good work, good work. All right, Greg and Amber and the crew from Fort Wayne. I love it. $134,000 paid off in 30 months, making $100 to $180. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
You guys ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
I love it. Wow.
So good.
We do hear that from time to time. Well, the Ramsey stuff doesn't work for large families, and then we often have large families on the debt-free stage doing their screams. So it is completely possible. It is a different dynamic, but so is everything when you have a
Right.
large family.
Yeah.
I mean, supper is a different dynamic. Grocery store is a different dynamic. Car ride is a different dynamic. So but you learn to live with that, and you learn to live life well with that, because that's a life of abundance. You've got an abundance of children. You have to have a life of abundance in the other areas of your life as well, and you have to view it that way instead of like, well, large families are cursed. Because sometimes it's almost like under the undertone is like, well, you can't build wealth and you can't be debt free and you can't be on a budget if you have a lot, so it's always this whiny thing when people are saying, they're hating on us, on Ramsey, saying you can't do this stuff. And so I appreciate you pointing that out, that this is a family that did do this, and they did it, in 30 freaking months.
That's
Now,
amazing.
they have worked a lot of hours. hours.
A lot of hours. And I love that she actually embraced it. It wasn't a bad thing. It was actually like, this is part of our weird. This is part of, like, it's the opposite of making us feel weird. We've embraced stigma. We've embraced people.
Well, we tell people not to be normal, to be weird, and she's like, we already were. We're doing it. I mean, I like that. That's perfect. That's weird is a good thing, because you don't want to be normal in this culture. Look around, look what normal is. You don't want to be normal. Normal sucks. And those guys are weird in the best possible way.
The best ways.
The best possible way. Some beautiful kiddos there. And $134,000 paid off in 30 months. Mic drop, baby. Very well done. This is The Ramsey Show. Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. A federal appeals court has temporarily blocked President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, halting any debt from being erased. But the administration is encouraging people to continue submitting their applications. The Friday evening ruling comes less than a week since the application portal went live. Already nearly 22 million people, more than half of qualifying buyers, have signed up. The administration could have begun processing applications and changing loan balances beginning Sunday. The order does not reverse the trial court's dismissal of the case or suggest that the case has merit. The White House press secretary said in a statement, the block was issued by the U.S. 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is considering a motion from 6 Republican-led states to stop the forgiveness program. It's one of several lawsuits that have aimed to challenge the program. 6 states, Arkansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and South Carolina, filed a lawsuit arguing the federal relief program would hurt state-based loan companies that manage some of the loans themselves. Earlier this week, a federal judge dismissed the case, saying it has no standing. The group then appealed and asked the federal appeals court to place a temporary hold on the program while the appeals court reviews the case. One of two things can happen in the upcoming days. Either the court can issue an injunction and the pause will last longer, or it can dismiss the case and the program can carry on. The federal appeals court is expected to announce a ruling as early as next week.
Whew. Man, I've been saying for a while, buckle up, y'all. This is going to get interesting. And it is interesting right now. There's a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions out there. I mean, 22 million people have already applied and are counting on it. But at the same time, there's this block, and the pause is coming to an end January 1st. So people are really wondering what's going to happen. I would be very curious to know your thoughts, Dave.
Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just a political chessboard.
Playing with people's real lives.
People's lives are always on the end of the political chessboard. Ugh. But the political chessboard is this. I told you last spring in March to expect President Biden to issue some kind of student loan forgiveness just in time for the midterms.
Yep.
To prop his little political butt up because he's a failed president by any standards. You have to be extremely left-wing to think that Weekend at Bernie is working up there, okay? You just got to be off your rocker now. It's gotten out, the cat's out of the bag. It's a mess. And, most polls are showing us that these midterms are going to be a bloodbath. But aside from that, I'm not a political analyst, but if I were doing politics, if I were in Biden's shoes, I would have done exactly what he's doing. I think it's brilliant. One of the few brilliant things he's actually done. But brilliant, absolutely brilliant, to issue a student loan forgiveness program knowing that it's going to be challenged, knowing that there's some question of the constitutionality, that the president has the power to do this without Congress approving, a $500 billion
Ouch.
forgiveness program without Congress's approval. Unprecedented for a president to be able to pull this off. Many scholars say unconstitutional, but I've yet to see a constitutional challenge come through. This is not a constitutional challenge. It's a challenge on the other basis. So what am I? Not a legal scholar, obviously. So, but from a political chessboard standpoint, he issued it, and here's what was going to happen. Either it was going to just sail on through, and he gets the credit for having the political cred, for having forgiven people's loans and buys their votes, which is his game plan, or the mean old Republicans stop him. And these are Republican governors at these states. These are Republican states that have gone against him. And so if it gets blocked and people don't get the forgiveness, he's in a perfect seat to blame the Republicans. See, I tried to help you people, but the Republicans hate the working man. And that's all he set this up so perfectly, and the timing. I mean, now the circuit court has to rule on it the week before the midterm elections.
Oh.
I mean, the week of midterm elections, like maybe. It's 2 weeks from today, November 8th.
Yeah.
Right? So as we're doing this show live at this moment, that's the situation. So as a political chessboard, his timing was perfect, and his play was perfect because the Republicans had no upside to this. They come off looking like the old meanie that doesn't want their student loans forgiven, or they let this slide through, and we have another $500 billion hit the books, because you can't forgive loans. You have to pay them off.
The money comes from somewhere.
These banks have to get their money. They're going to get their money. That means the federal government is paying off the loans. That's paying off the $10,000 worth of loans. So that means national debt is going up again by another $500 billion in an inflationary economy. We continue to suck cash out of the money supply. And so it's a political, like you said, buckle up. It's a political ride. Now, you can disagree with my political ascertainment or whatever you want, but you got to admit, whether you love Biden or whether you don't, in terms of political chessboard, it was brilliantly played.
Yeah.
And his timing was perfect. And I also said, expect whatever he does to look like it's a big deal, but it won't be a big deal. I said that in March.
You said it. I remember it.
And guess what? It's not a big deal. It's a big deal because of the total amount of money, but to an individual that has $90,000 in student loan debt, forgiving $10,000 in student loan debt does not fix your life. On the contrary, it makes you want to sit on your butt again and wait on Washington to forgive the rest of it. That's what you're trying to do. Meanwhile, the bozos up there keep making these loans that are so evil that we must forgive them, and yet we keep making them. That's intellectually dishonest as it can be. So how do you keep a student loan program in place that's harming the American public so much so that it must be forgiven, and keep making the loans? That's completely intellectually dishonest. And that tells you that this is politics ad infinitum. And see, they still have not answered the questions. Okay, you can file an application, and this idea that they're going to forgive the loans by Sunday is absolutely bullcrap, because the loan forgiveness program announced by the White House says that you have to make less than $125,000. What year? Last year?
Well, that's a good question, and they're not even requiring additional.
How are they proving? Like, I promise I didn't make more than $125,000. You don't have to turn in tax returns. How are you proving your income? They're taking your word for it?
Dang.
I don't think so. So I think there's some other stuff. This is not the last we've heard from this. It's going to continue on. It is it's a bit of a mess.
It's a mess, but what would you tell all the people who, in their minds, this is already a done deal, who are counting on this, and I mean, they don't see any chance that this could not happen?
Well, these people would fall into two categories: naive people that are young, and unbelievably naive people that are old. Because if you're young, I can appreciate that you've not been screwed by your government yet, and so this is your first time on this trip. When you're old like me, you've been like, they've promised me stuff before, and so far, none of the success in old Dave Ramsey's life has come as a result of anything Washington has done. As a matter of fact, it's been all in spite of everything Washington has done, and that's both freaking parties. So Santa Claus don't live in D.C. I know the old guy, he lives in the North Pole, and he ain't there. And so you're waiting on the government to fix your life, darling. Your life's going to suck. When the government says, we're here to help, that's like saying, hey, the DMV line is short. I mean, come on. Really, seriously, dumber than crud. So, yeah, please, it just means you're naive. You're sweet, and that's nice of you. And I don't mind, actually, if your $10,000 is forgiven. It's not the end of the world. I hate that it's all a political thing, and it's obvious political chessboard work. It's obvious. It's no question.
Well, and I think it's a good wake-up call for people who are counting on this forgiveness to still think about controlling the controllables and think about your budget, what you control. If these payments happen again in January, if forgiveness doesn't go through, how are you going to pay off your loans? Yeah. Think about that now. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till it's due. Start thinking about that now.
There's also the moral aspect, like, hey, you borrowed the money. And now a guy who's a welder, he owes the money because it got moved over. He didn't have student loans, and it got moved over to the national debt, and we all owe that as a people. This is just immoral. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Eric is with us in Omaha. Hi, Eric. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So within the past 2 years, both my wife and I have had drastic income increases. And we're trying to figure out if it's more worthwhile in my starter level home split entry to put more money towards my $98,000 mortgage or to invest that money into upgrades. We don't have anything that needs repaired, but upgrade. Trying to figure out if the upgrades will be more fruitful than paying down the mortgage prior to moving in 2 to 3 years, maybe.
What kind of upgrades?
Doing some concrete repair, possibly just replacing the deck boards. As you know, the lumber prices are nuts right now, so I'm just trying to make my deck safer.
No, lumber prices are not nuts right now. They've come way down.
They've come way down? Okay.
Yeah. They were triple, and now they're back to about normal.
I saw there was like a $20,000 surcharge on building a new house right now, so we're trying to hold it. We're trying to hold out.
That's a builder that's still trying to gig you, even though the prices have come down. So that doesn't mean that we need that builder. I'm not paying any builder a $20,000 surcharge in this current market. There's no need. This is a builder hadn't had the wake up call yet. The phone's ringing, concrete and deck boards. It doesn't sound like you're spending a lot of money.
The concrete, it's just mud jacking for the concrete work on my sidewalk. It's nothing too big for that, but it's.
I mean, what's the total bill on what we're discussing here?
Last time I got a quote, it was about $18,000 if I were to have someone come in and do my deck. Otherwise, it would be about $2,000, $2 to $3 to try to do it myself. But I'm just trying to figure out if the home upgrades are more fruitful than paying down my mortgage. So I have more equity.
I got that, but I'm trying to figure out what you're spending on the upgrade so I can answer that. And $18,000 versus $2,000 on a deck for labor only as the difference. There's something screwy about that number. $16,000 in labor to fix a deck?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that guy was smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Or something else. So no, I mean, if the lumber's $2,000, it's not that big a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can build
I'm
the
thinking
deck, build a
it's
deck
labor and
cheaper than
market.
you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to get a different bid because the goober that gave you the bid on the deck is out of his gourd. And then we're talking about $5,000 to fix the deck versus $2,000 if you throw in some labor instead of 16 or 18. So what's your household income?
The household income, I went from 64 to 110 within the past year, and my wife makes 44. So
Okay.
like 154, I believe.
Gotcha.
Total.
Okay, cool. What's the house worth today?
The house is worth $240.
Okay. And so if you spend 20 grand,
paid
if you spend 20 grand
$130
sprucing this house up, 15 grand sprucing this house up with the broken concrete and the floating and the redoing of the deck and that kind of stuff, 10, 15, 20 grand, something like that, you're not going to mess up. I would not spend $80,000 on this house, but if you're going to spend 15 or 20 grand on it, yeah, do that. Let's get the house fixed up, get it living nice, and then make the decision on whether you're going to sell it or not.
Well, and these sound like they're important upgrades. They're not like adding a pool or, you know, something kind of, you know, that's meaningless. These are important things that even if you want to sell the house in a few years, you're going to have to do this at some point. So
Yeah, you're going to have to do it. You can't have a deck you fall through to put the house on the market. Yeah, so you got to get that fixed. And really, the broken concrete's going to scare people too. So I'd probably fix all of that, and just to get it ready to sell, even if you're going to sell it next spring.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're still existing in a 1 year ago construction environment in your head. High lumber prices, high labor prices, people smoking crack that are giving you bids, and you need to go visit again the lumber yard now because prices are way down. You need to get revisited on the bids on everything because the people are much more normal now. They kind of calmed down. They kind of went crazy for a while, some of them, and they've calmed down now, and you're going to get a much more reasonable process probably if you shop around a little bit from a sub to do this work, and you're going to be much better. Yeah, do the work.
And I think it's a both and. Do the work and then attack that $98,000 mortgage. Like, do the work, and then you had this drastic income increase. So keep being intense and intentional about paying off the mortgage, but tackle those repairs first.
Absolutely. Carla is with us in Seattle. Hey, Carla, what's up?
Hi. What's up?
Yeah.
It's raining.
How can we help you today?
My question is that my dad and his wife have asked my husband and I for a large sum of money to pay off their debt. My husband and I are retired, and we are debt-free, but now we are on a fixed, limited income. We do not have what they are asking in the bank. It would require us to take a draw out of our retirement accounts, and we don't want to do that. And I want to respond to Dad with facts and data and not emotion, because I am very emotional and he is a great salesman.
So what's your net worth?
Oh, we are millionaires in the bank.
Yeah.
Untouchable money.
1 million or 10? What's your net worth?
Oh, I don't know exactly. My husband knows the exact numbers.
Well, give me a round guess.
I don't know. It's 2.
Okay.
2 to 3.
All right. And how old are you?
I don't know. I am 56 and he is 57.
Okay. All right. And how much money do they want?
$55,000.
For what?
Specifically, they say to pay off 3 credit cards and a car loan.
What is the premise that you should give them $55,000? Just because you got some money?
Because his statement, my dad's statement was, in order to get ahead and be able to do anything in their later years, they want this debt to be gone.
So get a job.
Well, he is 80.
80?
She is 70.
He's already
Yep.
in his later years.
I know.
Too late.
But we have we have a lot of longevity in our family. So he is expecting to live another 10 to 15 years easy, probably.
This is so fascinating.
And
all right, I'm out of time, but I have to answer your question, so you hang on. We'll bring you right back.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. The government is planning to hand out more Biden bucks in the form of student loan forgiveness now. But that forgiveness won't wipe out all your student loan debt unless you're very unusual. And it certainly won't wipe out your car debt. It won't wipe out the other things that you've got. You need to actually buckle down and do that. We can show you how to get out of debt. We've shown more people how to get out of debt so that they can build wealth than anybody else. It's called Financial Peace University. It's a proven plan to pay off all your loans, including your student loans. Millions and millions, tens of millions of people have done it. So kick Sally Mae out, kick everybody out that you owe money to, get rid of them, and start Financial Peace University right now. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. All right, Carla is with us in Seattle. She's in her late 50s. She and her husband are worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 million. Her 80-year-old father calls with his wife and says, we want $55,000 as a gift from you to pay off our credit cards so that we can do well in our later years as if he's not already there. And that's a summary of what you told me. Is that fair?
That's fair.
He's a good salesman. He's a bit manipulative. You have trouble saying no to your daddy. We established that. And yet you don't want to do this. I think I heard that between the lines, and I kind of think your husband doesn't want to do it for sure.
Mm-hmm. And there are reasons that we don't.
What are the reasons?
The reasons are that his wife is owed a large amount of money, and she will not pursue it from her own family. And so I feel like they're making the decision to be in the situation.
You're the easier
maybe
mark.
They don't. I am so much easier. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're in this situation. It's so hard. Even if you're in your 50s, he's still your daddy. And it's really hard to own the fact that he's a manipulative jerk.
Well, he
is. I haven't even met him, but what you've told me about him, I don't like him.
Okay.
Who calls up their daughter and says, I'm entitled to $55,000 of your money, and I'm going to send you on I'm going to be a travel agent for guilt trips if you don't give it to me? Who does that? Not the guy I like.
Carla, what have these conversations looked like? How has he approached you? You said he's a good salesman, but what does that look like or sound like?
He's always been in sales jobs his whole entire life. But how it went was by the way, when you have some time this next week. Can you give me a call? I want to ask you something. I'm like, oh, okay. So a few days go by and I call and I say, hey, I'm calling you back. You said you wanted, what do you got going on? And he said, well, we have a situation. And he presents his sales pitch for why they are asking for what they're asking. And they asked a couple other people before us, and now they're asking us. And it would be great. All of this would be paid off. They'd pay us this much back over time. And it would be, he thought that they could pay back interest, which we just kind of, like, okay, yeah, whatever, no.
Okay, if the situation and the relationships were completely different, $55,000 out of $2 million, you're not going to miss it. And
no, not at all.
I would, in a heartbeat, pay off my dad or my mom's stuff and just help out if he's 80 years old. But the situation is not different. The situation is what it is, and so I'm just going to have to tell you what you already know, and give you the courage to do what you already know you have to do, and you can't live with yourself and your husband if you do this. So the answer is no. Because you're not doing it for any really good reason. You're only doing it because you're caving. And you're a coward if you do it. Am I speaking what's been inside your brain already?
It's not in my brain. It's in my gut and my heart.
Yeah.
And
now I'm putting it in your brain. Yeah, it tears you up because it's your daddy. And I don't care how old you get, it's still your daddy. And that's why this is just so wrong to put you in this position. It's just wrong. And so I'm sorry you're there. It breaks my heart for you. But I think you and your husband just sit down and you say, we're going to pan back from this. And this is not a 6-year-old little girl looking for her daddy's approval. This is a grown, very sophisticated woman that's very bright in her 50s that is making a conscious decision to say, I am not going to be manipulated.
Can I follow up that no with, but here is a bunch of information from Ramsey Solutions. Go to this website.
Sure. Matter of fact, I'll give you Financial Peace University. I would love for them to go. I'd love to help him and help him go through Financial Peace University. I'll give it to you as a gift.
Well, that's very gracious.
And you can give it to them.
Well, thank you.
I think you and your husband, you just say, look, we talked about it. Our money's tied up in investments right now. We think you should go after her relatives' money. I think that's an easier mark, and it doesn't make sense for us right now. And I love you, but I'm just so sorry we can't do it at this time. It's not convenient for us. Well, what about? No, that's the beginning and the end of it. You don't have to give an explanation to the salesman. You just said no. No, I'm not buying the car. No, I'm not buying the purse. No, I'm not buying the manipulation. No is a complete sentence.
Well, and Carla, let's get you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future by Dr. John Deloney, because it doesn't sound like this is the first time you've had these type of conversations with your dad. It sounds like there's a history of kind of manipulative conversations. So just taking some time for you to process that and heal from that. I know it's going to be hard, and you said you've been kind of lost in your emotions, so I'm sure this is going to be an emotional conversation.
Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, you feel like a teenage girl asking to go out on a date, or a teenage girl that thinks she's going to get grounded. That's what it activates inside of you emotionally. I don't care how old you are. I'm 62 and I can feel it right now.
Yeah.
And I get that. I understand that. So it doesn't go away. It doesn't change. And so, but what you do, the only way to deal with it is to pan back from the emotions and say, okay, we're going to deal with this based on facts, be very gentle and very quick and short. And no is a complete sentence. And it's not a big discussion. You do not owe an encyclopedia worth of reasons. Our stuff's tied up. We don't think it's a good move, and we think you should get the money from her family, and we're not able to do it right now. So right now, the answer is no. We love you. We hope it works out for you. Matter of fact, we're going to put you through Financial Peace University, but no.
Yep.
End of sentence. No more discussion. We're not going to debate this. We're not going to let him drag this down the thing. He's not going to solve the objection because the objection is over. It's over. It's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence, and then you don't have to feel guilt and shame moving forward.
Absolutely not. And the very fact that that's all here is the reason for the no.
Exactly.
It's not her. It's not she should get it from them. It's not that you have it tied up in investments. It's the very way that the whole thing is handled and the whole thing it's couched in, and you don't want to do it. And by the way, it's your money. You do not have an ethical or a moral obligation to give manipulators money just because they happen to be kin to you. It's just not there. Well, what about the Bible says to honor your parents? It does not say to honor their misbehavior. If your dad calls up and he's doing cocaine, he needs some money, you don't give him money. That's not what the Bible's talking about. It says we honor the position of fatherhood, not the misbehavior of the sole individual that is in the position. We honor the position of president, not the misbehavior of the president. It's a different thing. I honor the position of motherhood, but if mom's an alcoholic, we don't honor that. Okay? That's the thing you're looking at. And so you're not biblically or morally or spiritually or psychologically obligated in any sane person's book. Okay? So you're set free right now. Right now. Hang on. We're going to pick up and get you FPU for him and Own Your Past, Change Your Future for you. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Kevin and Lisa are with us in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. And I would ask where you're from, but the Phillies shirts give you away. I'm guessing Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yes, about 15 minutes away. We live in Jersey.
Representing the team, though. You're repping.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good job. Very cool. Very cool. Well done, well done, well done. All right. How much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $95,146.
All right. How long did this take?
30 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that 2.5 years?
Was about 99 to 125.
Cool. What y'all do for a living?
I work for Super of America in Camden, New Jersey. I'm a parts information coordinator.
All right.
Me, disabled since 2015.
Okay. All right. Good. So $95,000 worth of what kind of debt?
It was just about everything. We were probably normal. Okay.
Truck, credit cards.
Cards.
Most of the animals put us in debt.
Animals put you in debt. What
Yes.
kind of animals?
Dogs.
Dogs.
2 with diabetes and overnight stays, and every time we went, it was $4,000 or $5,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
And we had a 401k loan mixed in there and a personal loan as well.
Okay. What was the wake-up call? What got you started 2.5 years ago? So we got to stop this.
I think we did it Davish for a while, and I was at the point where Lisa got hurt, and we had some issues going on with that. And I got to the point, January 2020, I was going to do a New Year's resolution. I was going to get myself out of debt. And I came across, your YouTube channel, and I start listening, and I bought in.
So, Lisa, he's kind of gone down the rabbit hole here on YouTube. What did you say?
I was right with him. Right
Okay.
with him.
Right there, let's do it.
Yep. We struggled a lot during the years. Living paycheck to paycheck.
How long y'all been married?
33 years.
Okay. All right.
Known
Together.
each other for 40 years.
Okay.
We were babies. We were 14.
Okay. And you look up and you say, all right, after 30 years, we're done. This has got to change.
Done.
The worm has turned.
Yes.
And you went all in then, huh?
Yes, we went all in. We did everything we possibly could.
Wow.
Yep.
What did that journey look like?
I think I had 7 part-time jobs.
Throughout.
Wow.
Just if I didn't like it, I didn't go back. It was just like, this was during COVID
Yeah,
too.
they were everywhere.
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
during COVID.
I started at Walgreens. I worked at Walgreens for a little bit. I worked at Walmart. I got a job at a floral place working, Monday through Friday. It was surreal, but and I just
Never thought you'd be a florist, huh?
No.
no.
No, not at all.
But it was a warehouse being a florist. It was
Okay.
picking the flowers, but they were in boxes and shipping them to the places that actually made the arrangement.
okay.
So it was pretty. It was pretty cool. It was nice inside. It was cool.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it smelled good, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really had to buckle down once I lost my salary. So
Yeah. Are you doing better? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Good.
I go day by day.
Good. I'm glad.
Y'all are the definition of gazelle intense.
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing. So what would you tell people is the key to getting out of debt?
Budget. Every
Budget.
dollar budget. Get it. If you don't have it, I mean, it takes a while to get used to budgeting. But when you're taking $3,000 to $4,000 and putting it at your debt a month, and you're having it, being able to do it, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It is very amazing.
Way to go, you guys.
It is. We never talked about money before. So
Yeah.
we sat with meetings every month, every week.
You completely changed.
Yes.
I mean,
definitely.
and that's hard.
That's hard.
I think it's easier 3 months after you're married than 30 years after you're married.
Yeah, I think we fought more married than we did talking these last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Good. Good.
Well, and you guys are people who you didn't budget before. You struggled with money, and then you just did it. What would you tell people who are intimidated to budget?
It takes work to budget. It does take 3 months to hone it down, and every dollar now goes to budgets. And we have budget meetings every month, every morning when we're drinking our coffee. Just say this is where it's going.
When we started this and we put the $1,000 away, I had to hide it every time and keep putting it away and moving it because I always thought he was going to take it. I did.
Because for 30 years he had.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then we really did, we just had to touch it in September. His mom passed away just 4 weeks ago. So, and her life wasn't great because her insurance plan was in her ex-husband's who was dead. And, we still have to wait for all that to come through. So we had to dig in.
Wow.
That was our first time we used emergency.
Wow. Good
So,
for you guys.
It was good.
How's it feel to be free?
Awesome.
Fabulous.
We came here. We stayed here for the Friday we got here. The Phillies were playing. We were watching them, and they're 3-0 since we've been here. So I don't know. I might not be able to go home because it's 3-0.
Just ride the whole World Series out here in Nashville. Yeah.
Can we stay another week? No. Yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, who are your biggest cheerleaders during this journey?
Our kids, Kyle, Kevin,
Courtney.
and Courtney.
Yeah, they knew you needed to do it and that you could do it.
We also have probably 2 weddings coming up in the next 2 years. So,
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes.
some things to get ready for, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Well, and I love that you're changing your family tree. The fact that they are your biggest cheerleaders. They
Yes.
saw what your life looked like before, and then they watched you fight through this journey. You know that's going to have an impact on them moving forward.
yes, they see it more now. They didn't see it back then, but they know now.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Way to go, you guys.
Yay.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes,
Very,
thank you.
very well done. Very well done. And you were holding the Gazelle card up out there earlier. So
Yes.
you already got the Gazelle card.
I got it.
We
All
just
right,
got
man.
it as we were heading out this week. So
I love it. That's perfect timing. Cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations, guys. We got a copy of Total Money Makeover for you and the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. And a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University and the Live and Give bundle. All of that goes in there. use whatever you want, give away whatever you want, and it's all for you just to say we're proud of you and way to go. So
right.
very, very well done. Kevin and Lisa, $95,000 paid off in 30 months, making 99 to 125. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
100% of the people who get out of debt have to overcome things while they are getting out of debt. She obviously, we didn't dig for details, just out of politeness, obviously went through an injury and a disability as a result. They went through a bunch of other stuff. They did this during COVID. Our last two debt-free screamers decided in January of 2020, and then 2 months later, things start shutting down. 3 months later, the entire world shuts down, and people lose their jobs. People are scared. People think you're crazy if you're out there moving around and you're working in the middle of all that, and they did anyway.
I love that. I kind of have that visual image of so many people running away from the storm, and instead they just ran into it. Y'all saw challenges, and you went, you know what? I'm not afraid. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to fight to get our family out of debt.
Yeah, it's time that this changed, and it's time that this is over. And you have to have that moment. And there's that I've had it moment, as the great motivator Les Brown says. You know, you change your life when you finally say, I've had it. And that's the thing. You got to have that moment, and it doesn't matter where you are. Whether you're 23, whether you're 63, whether you're 43, I don't care where you are. You've got to have that moment. And the weird thing is, different things will cause you to have that moment. It could have been the scare around COVID. It could be the scare around medical problems. It could be I finally am disgusted. You know, it doesn't have to be some big thing, but you do need to be able to pinpoint and go, that's when it happened. That's when everything changed.
That's so good. And that will propel you forward through challenges, because it doesn't sound like your journey was easy. 7 jobs. You guys had to work hard to do that. You guys had to fight through, not feeling like you were strong at budgeting. Like you said, it took 3 months or more to figure that out. You had some arguments and had to wrestle through it, but you did it.
Yeah.
You did
Powerful.
it.
Good people. Good people right there. Well done, Kevin and Lisa. Whoop, whoop. This is The Ramsey Show. Christine Ellis, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host. Joining us is the next #1 best-selling author, Will Guidara, my good friend from New York, has got a brand new book out, and this is a remarkable book, a remarkable man, and got to meet him a few years ago. Simon Sinek introduced us, as a matter of fact, at an event we were both at in Aspen, and we've become fast friends ever since, and you're going to love this guy. You're going to love the book. The book is Unreasonable Hospitality: The Remarkable Power of Giving People More Than They Expect. Will's ownership, partial ownership with 11 Madison Park in New York City, the creativity that he brought to Unreasonable Hospitality made it the #1 restaurant in the world, literally, multiple times over, and has got multiple awards after his name. Everyone in the restaurant world knows Will and Unreasonable Hospitality and knows his personality Hospitality. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on a new book, brother. This is
Today's the
good.
day. Today's pub day.
This is pub day. It's
I was saying,
officially out.
There's nowhere I'd rather be than here with you guys today.
You say that to all the girls.
proper
Yeah. Oh, man, it's amazing. So what is unreasonable hospitality? Give some examples of what you did at the restaurant.
So unreasonable hospitality is the strategy that I used to make our restaurant number one in the world. All the other restaurants, they were unreasonable in the food that they were serving. They were unreasonable in pursuit of product. I choose to be unreasonable in pursuit of people and how we made them feel. And so we would basically, when I say unreasonable, I mean doing whatever it takes to make
you guys
people
did
feel
some bizarre stuff.
Well, we had a position in the restaurant whose only responsibility was to just go way above and beyond. So, like one example, a couple came in after their beach vacation flight was canceled. We turned our private dining room into their own private beach. We put about 500 pounds of sand on the ground and a kiddie pool filled with water they could dip their feet into over tropical Mai Tais.
That's amazing.
Or one time there was a family of 4 from Spain visiting the restaurant, and the most beautiful thing happened when the kids were looking out the windows with wonder because it had started snowing, and it was the first time they'd seen snow. So we somehow found a store that was still open at 8 o'clock on a Friday night selling sleds, and when they left the restaurant, there was a chauffeur-driven SUV to take them to Central Park to go sledding. We did all these things.
Who does that? The number one restaurant in the world. That's who does that. Yeah.
But I'll tell you why we didn't. Listen, people don't collect stuff anymore.
It doesn't cost that much.
No, it definitely doesn't cost that much.
It just costs ideas. And the person's position, their job, the title position was...
They were called the Dreamweaver.
Yeah. A nod to 80s rock. Yeah.
A nod to the seminal song by Gary Wright. You know, people don't collect things anymore. They collect experiences. And I believe that in order for an experience to be worth collecting, you need to give people a memory to help them relive it. But the cool thing, and this is what's so special about unreasonable hospitality and why I believe it applies to things far beyond restaurants.
Oh, it does.
Is because 2 things happen when you create a culture, when you give your team the permission and the resources to start thinking like this. 1, they're empowered. In my restaurant, they were no longer just serving plates of food that someone else had created. They were coming up with their own ideas, and those ideas were affecting the experience, and they worked that much harder to make the experience great because of it. But 2, there's just nothing more energizing than seeing the look of complete joy on someone's face when they receive a gift you're responsible for giving them.
Yeah, surprise and delight is the best reward for any team member
100%.
When they get the opportunity to surprise and delight a customer.
You're giving them the gift of being able to give people gifts.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of what we did, and it took us straight to the top.
That's amazing. I remember you talking at Entree Leadership Summit and telling the hot dog story and about how somebody on your team just listened and they heard somebody say, that was their dream in New York, and y'all provided that.
Yeah, we overheard a table saying that they had had dinner at all the best restaurants. They just hadn't had a hot dog from a street cart. And so we ran outside, grabbed a hot dog, somehow convinced the chef to serve it, and
in a fine dining restaurant,
4-star restaurant.
I would imagine it had some presentation to it, but yeah.
But I'll tell you what, like when we served it, I'd never seen anyone react to anything we'd served them the way that they did to that hot dog, because it was specific to them. One of the things I say is that genuine hospitality is one size fits one, where someone feels seen, completely seen, because they know that you are fully present with them. I think the other thing the hot dog showed was this lesson that I believe every customer service business can benefit from, which is take what you do seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Because too often, in pursuit of these brands that are somewhat arbitrary in many ways, we let our self-imposed standards get in the way of us giving people the things they actually want.
Well, and I think what's happened is I'm seeing, I think your book timing is amazing, because I'm seeing a revolt coming up, not only in business, but among the public, where they've had enough of fake friends, fake experiences, digital experiences that aren't real. You figured out Facebook friends aren't real friends?
Yeah.
They won't come change your tire at 2 a.m. They won't help you move on the weekend.
They most certainly won't.
They just don't. They're not real. And so you can collect all those fake friends you want, or you can collect real relationships. There's a relationship revolution coming. The digital thing has overplayed its hand. And not to say digital is going to go away. I'm not saying that at all. But the current use of it has become so freaking shallow that there's no connectivity like you're talking about with unreasonable hospitality.
Yeah, I mean, the digital transformation has almost started to feel like a race to the bottom. And what people are craving, especially after the last 3 years, is connection. And people will pay more and be more loyal if you're the person that starts to give it to them. And by the way, this is not just a work thing, it's a life thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm excited about the book for restaurants, of course. That's the world that I'm from. But I believe that this can be a really helpful tool to anyone in any customer service business. Because, I mean, listen, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're in construction or financial services or insurance or retail or real estate, you do the same thing that I do. You're in the business of serving other people. And this is my call to arms, that we should just be a bit more unreasonable in how we serve them.
Yeah, and relational and connection. We had some good friends about 6 or 8 weeks ago, I guess, just call and say, hey, you guys come over for dinner. You know how weird that is? Nobody does that anymore.
I know.
That's so 1970s.
I know. Wait, hold on. We're going to be together, like
Like
actually
at your house
connecting,
and
like human beings
just
together.
sitting at your table and you like cooked and stuff.
We're going to be intentional.
And then we had
in pursuit of
we
one
had a
another.
conversation, and the television wasn't on. There was no football. There was just people sitting there talking and eating together. It was fabulous. I came home and I told Sharon, we're doing that more. That's like a thing now. But you're right. Unreasonable hospitality, it can be very personal.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this book. I remember the moment I heard you speak, I was like, I can't wait to get this and start practicing it, because the examples you gave of ways that we can start implementing it were powerful. How can other people outside of the restaurant industry start implementing some of these practices?
For sure. So I just recently moved into a new apartment, and I think that's a great just opportunity for an example. So every time I've bought or rented a new apartment, the real estate agent has, at best, left me a bottle of sparkling wine in the fridge as my thank you / congratulations gift.
And these aren't cheap apartments.
No. Perhaps not. And by the way, this is
not. Yeah.
This is someone with whom I've spent weeks, if not months, looking together for my new home. If they've been paying attention, they should know almost every intimate detail about my life. So imagine instead, if the first time we walked into the place that we chose, he overheard my wife talking about the nook that she could see herself doing yoga in every morning. And imagine if when we moved in, instead of that bottle of sparkling wine, there was a yoga mat in that nook with a candle and a note that said, welcome to your new home. A, that'd be pretty cool. B, it doesn't cost that much more than a bottle of sparkling wine. And C, it's an insignificant investment in what will inevitably be a lifelong relationship. I believe it's simple pattern recognition. No matter what you do, you can find these opportunities to give people more than they could possibly expect. And if you seize on them, it's a win-win-win, because it will make the business more profitable. Yes, you have to spend a little bit of money, but that hot dog you're talking about, that was $2. But 2, the guests will be happier. They will come back. And 3, it just makes doing the job so much more fulfilling.
Fun.
Yeah. And people are better at their job when they're having fun doing it.
You guys see why Will and I became fast friends. He's brilliant and fun to hang out with. The book is Unreasonable Hospitality, the remarkable power of giving people more than they expect. I predict it to be a big bestseller.
Thank you.
You don't want to miss this. It's an incredible book. I can't wait to get it home and read it. Be sure and check it out anywhere great books are sold, including Amazon. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions. The phone number is 888-825-5225. We're going to go to GT in Roanoke, Virginia to start this hour. Hi, GT. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. A little nervous and a little concerned after checking my credit statement the other day.
Okay, what's up?
Well, I've got over $500,000 in debt, and I'm getting ready to sell a house, but I just don't know what to do with the money, and I'm worried I made a mistake.
Okay, $500,000 in debt on what?
$30,000 in truck, $35,000 on land at the lake, $135,000 on the house that we're getting ready to sell, and $350,000 on the house we just bought.
Okay, and what's your household income?
160 to 180, depending on overtime.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I would encourage you to separate out the debt when you're kind of looking at it, because that is overwhelming when you're having all of the $350 is your primary mortgage, right?
Yes, it is, and that we're moving into that one within the month.
Tell us a little bit about the house you're about to sell with the 135 that you mentioned. How much equity is in that house?
We've got it under contract for $260.
Okay. So what you've already closed on the house that's $350, that's your main house, right? And that's your old house, right?
The $350 is the one that we closed on that we're moving into. The other one is the old house, yes.
How much did you put down?
We haven't closed. The $350?
Mm-hmm.
None.
But
it was sort of go ahead.
Go ahead. How did you do that?
It was a situation where it was about to be foreclosed on, and it was a great deal. It's probably worth $550, and the foreclosing bank wouldn't allow us to make a contingent on selling our own home.
Right, and so you just went and got a bank loan.
Yes.
Okay. Is the $350 now on a permanent mortgage, or is it still a bank loan?
Permanent.
Okay. All right. So you're set up then. The other house is sold. When you sell it, you've got the money to pay off the truck and the other $35,000, right?
Yes.
And you'll be debt free other than your home.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the overwhelmed part?
Just seeing $500,000 in debt. I've never had that much before in my life.
Okay. So you're doing all this two-step, and you just didn't look at how many different squares you were stepping on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But now once you finish the dance, it's not overwhelming anymore, really.
No, I guess not.
I mean, you got $350,000 house payment. That's it. You've got another $60,000 laying in your checking account that we need to set some aside for your rainy day fund, your emergency fund. Let's call that $35,000, and that gives you $30,000 to put on some other stuff. Maybe get your retirement and your kids' college started with some of that. And so the end of the story turns out the wake up call and the lesson to be learned, it sounds like, is that the way you went at this left you more vulnerable than you like to be, and I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment here, and we're kind of still sitting in it at this moment until this house closes, the first house closes. There's a moment here where you're $550,000 in debt, and if it went sideways, you'd be messed up.
Yeah.
Like if the market froze up and you couldn't sell that other house, you'd be up a creek right now.
Yeah, I would.
And so the good news is it sounds like you're going to get out by the hair of your chinny chin chin and end up in actually a good place. But the good news is it scared you enough to make you concentrate more next time you were faced with a similar opportunity to hide the pea under a shell.
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
No, you're spot on. I just, like I said, once the numbers hit me, it scared me.
Good.
And I was like, what if something goes wrong?
Yep. Good.
Well, and remember that feeling.
Yeah. And so next time you go, because I used to do stuff like that all the time and until it took my dadgum head off. and I'm, walking around, like a Halloween costume or something looking for my head. It was gone. It just knocked it off. And I'm like, geez, man, my whole life got turned upside down here. I lost everything. I just about lost my marriage. It destroyed my whole freaking world. And so I don't even go close to that stuff anymore. And so that can be your lesson. Like, I kind of overstepped here. I was walking along the edge of the cliff and the rocks are falling off and I acted like they weren't, and I was singing and whistling a tune, and I made it back safe, but I'm not going to take that path again. I don't like being that close to the edge, and that's a good lesson. So just learn the lessons, GT. That's all I would tell you. Yeah, and then just use the lessons you've learned to continue forward, being responsible with your finances. Now, stay away from the edge of the dadgum cliff. Right, exactly. That's really what it does come down to. So very, very good question. And so it's a good example, and his emotion came up and caught him. But if this had gone sideways, but now that it's turned out, it's really going to leave him in a very good place, a very reasonable place. He's debt free, everything but his house. Great income. $350,000 mortgage with $180,000 income. That's not out of line. This is all very doable. Okay, he ends up in a good place. But this is an example of, when he started this process, he doesn't know that's going to turn out, and that's what caught him and took his breath away. Most people don't even bother to have their breath taken away. They just go, oh, that's what I planned, and that's what happened. Here's the debt only works, or buying two houses at one time only works, or doing these things only works when it works. And most of the time, life doesn't work exactly the way you had it planned. And so that's when it gets your dadgum head taken off, and that's where you get to experience the borrower is slave to the lender, and a foolish man devours all he has. And in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil. And these Bible verses that talk about living on less than you make, having an emergency fund, having a plan, and not being in debt. And that, that plan works in good times and in bad times. And so we had a call in an earlier hour today where I told a guy, do not buy the second house until the first one is sold. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Same scenario here, because you can get caught. Now, good news is GT got out. I'm happy for him. Happy he didn't learn the lesson except put his stomach in his throat without having to learn the lesson. That's good. That's good. I'm happy that there's no harm, no foul. I don't wish bad things on people. What I try to do is help you avoid setting yourself up where bad things can get you. Don't let them get you. It's Halloween. This is the Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess? With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Christina Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Best-selling author, Ramsey Personality. Last week, we announced our Spring Building Wealth live tour, and tickets are really selling fast. The VIP tickets in Indianapolis and Anaheim sold out within 48 hours. The Building Wealth live events are going to walk you through a simple but proven plan that will help you save money, build wealth, and make smart decisions in this crazy economy. What's happening out there? Despite what the news and the internet say, it is still possible. Join me, Rachel Cruz, Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, George Campbell for a night of hope and normalcy this spring. The tour dates available today: Indianapolis, February 16th, Austin, Texas, February the 23rd, and Anaheim on May the 2nd. Tickets start at $39. Our fall events sold out in days. You do not want to wait on this. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets, and particularly, you better get them like today if you want VIP or Platinum on any of these. They go first, and they go early, and they go really, really fast. Our question of the day is from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Trish in Missouri. Our son graduated from high school in 2021. He decided to use his scholarships, working income, and a small subsidized federal loan to pay for college so far. He has done an amazing job with his finances. He had $17,700 saved for him in his 529, but he wanted to leave it alone and use it for his later years of school when he might need it even more. The 529 was doing so well, we neglected to look at the funds he was in and move it to safer funds as he got closer to 18 years old. It grew to $18,700 by 2022, but has dropped significantly to $14,800 as of today. We realize now this was a mistake. Now, with less than 3 years of college left, the market is still looking grim. Do we move it and cut our losses, tell him to use it all that he can now, or just wait it out? Also, Missouri, where our 529 is, as of right now, will not let us use 529 to repay back loans later. Thanks for the advice. This is interesting. I feel like the first thing I would do is just kind of talk to you guys about your mindset. I mean, you're saying that he's taken out federal subsidized student loans so far, and that he's also doing great with his finances. I think the fact that even debt was on the table to begin with isn't great. You had a 529 available, and then you still took out a student loan. I kind of would just challenge you first and foremost to go, let's not do debt. Like, let's first establish that mindset and take it off the table, and then explore options from there. I think if that was kind of the conversation from the beginning, you probably would have used the 529 earlier on, and he wouldn't have taken out a loan. But Dave, I'm curious about your thoughts on this.
Well, we're never going to tell you to take out a loan.
Exactly.
Period. Okay, so now we got to figure it out. Because here's what taking out a loan is in this situation. If you're taking out a loan so that you can leave this alone and let it come back up, that's like saying, I'm going to borrow $14,800 hoping and invest it in the stock market hoping it will go up. Well, you would never do that. That's dumber than a rock. And so, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to take out a loan in order to give this time to ride back up. What we are going to do is put Junior to work. Yeah, W-O-R-K. I want him busting it. And I want him, using Christina's materials and applying for scholarships, like a bazillion of them. I want him to apply. I want him working all the time. And then the other question I've got is, where is he in school? Is he in an expensive school you can't afford? So, in other words, if you want to leave this money alone and let it come back up, which is a good idea, actually, the only way to do that is find the money to pay for school.
Because 3 years, if he's got 3 years left, that's a lot of time.
It's going to come back up.
Right.
And you got to find the money anyway, because this is not enough to get him through school.
Well, and if they continue going forward with the way they're going forward, 3 years of taking out loans is going to add up to a lot of money. Like, you're saying that it's a good, he's done well with his finances so far, but 3 more years of taking out loans, that's not going to be good. So it's amazing the creative options you come up with when you take debt off the table. He's going to have to maybe look at, what school is he at? Can he go to a cheaper school? Is there some sort of employer he can work for that has a tuition assistance program? What scholarships are out there? Can he talk to the financial aid office and see if they can offer him anything else? Like, when you don't have debt as an option, then you really start fighting for yourself and trying to figure out, what are the most strategic ways for me?
A ton of these retailers, like Target, for instance, and others, are, if you're working a certain number of hours, they're so desperate they're willing to pay tuition.
Legit.
And so, that changes the numbers on what you're making while working there. I mean, you might be making $18, you might be making $22 an hour and getting free tuition.
Potentially thousands of dollars in tuition. Like, that is a lot of benefit right there. Plus, you're building your resume. I mean, you may be starting in a basic retail position, but maybe you can be a manager by the time you graduate.
So if you're not going to borrow any more money for the next 3 years, you got to figure out a way to pay for college anyway. So while you're doing that, that gives you also time to let this money grow back before you cash it in.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you that in 12 months, I think you'll be fine. it's going to be back. That's my guess. Might be 18. But bear markets, there's very few bear markets would have lasted longer than that when you start this process. This bear market started basically at the first of this year. And a 4-year bear market is almost non-existent in history. There's almost none of them. And so, 2 years, you're going to be fine. 18 months, you're going to be fine. Something like that. You're going to make some money on this money. But the point is, you've got to have some money anyway to get through school without debt. And so we need to go find that money from working, from scholarships, or for work scholarships, whatever it is we're doing, and from school choice and so forth. So you've got a lot of work to do, period, across the board. And the book is Debt Free Degree. It is in the Ramsey store at RamseySolutions.com, and it will help you with this process. And Austin, if you can figure out who this person is and how to send it to them, go ahead and send them one. Okay, I don't know what our connectivity is on all these questions that come in by email and other things. So, but if you can do that, get him one out. Get her one out, I guess. But yeah, it's almost like we're doing good with our money while we borrow student loans. Is as dumb a statement as I don't have any debt. Oh wait, I've got student loans. Yeah, that's debt. It's just right. Those are both dumb statements.
But okay. I think there is that mindset now. People keep saying that student loans, it's good debt. And people just seem like that for some reason
Surely
seems to be.
God, people are starting to realize it's bad debt. I mean, it's so bad the president has to forgive it.
But still keep giving out loans.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. That's good. Yeah. See, you ruined the whole thing there. Robert's with us. Robert is in New Hampshire. Hey, Robert, what's up?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So me and my wife have been on a credit card with $35,000 to $37,000 for the last 15 to 20 years. Wondering if pulling from my 401k to pay that is smart or not.
Well, if you don't change your habits, you go right back in debt, wouldn't you?
Correct.
So we don't have a credit card problem. We got a habit problem.
With just the one credit card, everything else has been good.
And we have a minimizing problem.
Yes.
You call me up because you're stressed out about your credit card, and then you go, well, it's just one. Okay, which one is it? Is it a problem or isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem.
So, no, we're not cashing out your 401k for two reasons. One is you got to change you, and that's the best answer for your long-term wealth building. And two is if you cash out your 401k, they're going to charge you a 10% penalty plus your tax rate. So you're going to get hit 30 to 40%. And so that's like saying, hey, Dave, I want to borrow money at 30% interest to pay off my credit card. I would, of course, say no. And you would even say no to that, Robert. So, no, we're not doing that.
So the question I'm actually asking, do I take a loan out against my phone?
No. You can't borrow your way out of debt, sir. Doesn't work. Can't get out of a hole while you're digging out the bottom. It's time to address Robert. Look in the mirror, say you're the problem. Look in the mirror, say you're the solution. Hold on, I'm going to send you a book called Total Money Makeover that's helped 10 million people fix what you need to fix. This is The Ramsey Show. Christine Ellis, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today, #1 best-selling author in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Brian and Valerie are here. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing great.
We're doing awesome.
Welcome. Good to have you guys. Where you guys live?
Denver, Colorado.
Cool. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
How much have you paid off?
Well, married, we paid off $160,000 in 22 months.
Mm-hmm.
And single, or altogether, we paid off $205,000 in 34 months.
Okay. Before the 22 months started, or is that total, including everything?
That's before the 22 months started.
So the total is more like $365,000.
Or it's 205 total in 34 months.
Oh, okay. That's the total. That's what I was asking. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So that's a good. All right. And so during the 22 months, what was your range of income?
It was 213 to 273.
All right. Very cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a manager for an engineering firm, for a CAD manager.
Ah, okay. Very cool. Kind of figured out how you two met. Okay. And so, all right. And so we had $205,000 total.
Yes.
And started working on it before we're married, finished it after we're married. Tell us the story. How did all this work?
Yeah, so it started in August 2020. So 2020, right before the pandemic, and or August 2019. And I was interning as an engineer before I got my first job. And my good friend Mark, who is a Marine reservist, just want to point that out. So you can imagine how intense he is. But he came into my office and kept trying to get me to do this Ramsey thing in this FPU class. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And finally, 2 weeks before the class started, he came in and he closed my door and was like, why won't you take this class? And I think I just broke down crying. I just broke down. And
this is like illegal right here.
This is how we do in the armed forces. So I kind of opened up to him, and my family, we'd lost 4 people in 4 years. And dealing with PTSD, I'd just gotten out of the military, and I was broke. I was in 6 figures of debt, and I was scared and ashamed, and I was making less than $40,000 with 6 figures of debt. So,
and he could see your eyes.
Yeah. And he convinced me to take it. And I was pretty resistant for 6 weeks. It wasn't until the 7th class that I was like, okay, fine. I know.
You are a hard case. I mean, usually first or second class, I get them. I mean, 7 classes.
I was so angry, especially about the student loans.
Yeah.
I was convinced I couldn't go to college without student loans.
And then
I was
you
just
did.
Convinced.
Yeah, okay.
So. Wow. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so that gets you started on the whole thing.
Yes.
And then poor Brian wanders into the story.
It was our first date. I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, if you're not on board, I'm just not sure about this,
So our FPU classes became date night, and it was the only way I got to keep seeing her. So
you went from I'm not going, I'm going to cry about it to we're not even going on a second date if you're not in, dude.
Yes.
Wow, this is 7th class was thorough. I mean, at least the conversion was thorough.
But then she was all in.
Yeah.
Then I was all in.
And then some.
And I think it was Chris Hogan. It was 3 years ago. I think he was in that one.
Yeah,
and
he was.
His deep voice just really got me. And I was like, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So
it's very commanding.
It is commanding.
Very cool. Good for you guys.
So you finally get convinced, and then you get started. What did the journey of paying off the debt look like?
It had its ups and downs. We stuck together, and we did our first budget meeting. That was fun. That was 6 hours.
Yeah. 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm a.
It was a date, right?
Yeah.
This is
pretty much. Yeah.
This is 2 engineers. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a nerd with a spreadsheet.
He could not give up the spreadsheet.
No, not at
give
all.
it up.
And then it became easier once we kind of jumped into the full, like, we're all on board. We're not doing a Davish. We got the Every Dollar app, and so that I had to release control of my spreadsheet.
Oh,
and
that's devastating.
I think it was.
But it was totally worth it. And us being a new married couple, financials can be a real struggle and a real stress on the marriage. But we went into it knowing we were on the same plan, and it's made our marriage so much more successful and wonderful.
Yeah.
Who were your biggest cheerleaders in the process?
Well, our best friends, Lisa and JT, came with us today.
All right, way to go, guys.
Yeah. And then our FPU coordinators, I think they're listening right now, Mary and Mark.
Oh, that Mark was the coordinator.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's recruiting for the class. I got it.
I mean, he was all in. So.
I love it. Way to go, Mark.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you truly experienced that resistance, and now you are here. You went all in. You paid
All
it
in.
off. So if you were in Mark's position, and you're in his position right now, there are people listening who feel that same level of resistance. What would you tell them?
Well, I would just tell them, for someone like me who I just thought I was so strong and I could do this all on my own. And I was too ashamed and embarrassed and too prideful to think that I was doing something wrong. And so I think the biggest thing is to be humble enough to put your pride down. And if it's not working for you, try something new.
So good.
Yeah.
It's not like it's your identity. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, but people treat it so.
Yeah.
We hold on to it with such a tight fist.
We do.
Yeah, and so that whole part of your journey is actually more beautiful than the paying off of the debt.
I've changed completely. I was so resistant and so hard-headed, and now it just feels like I'm a different person.
Well, you had so much loss.
Yeah.
And then you had some anger to go with it.
Yes.
And you had quite a little chemistry thing going on here.
I had a lot going on.
A little chemistry set going on here.
I was just mad all the time.
Yeah. And then you just aimed your mad at the right thing.
Yes.
And knocked it out. Yeah. And that
amazing.
there is something that sets you free when you do that. That's very powerful.
Yes.
Very cool. You guys are a neat couple, and what you've been through and what you've been through together is very, very, very strong. You're set up to win at an unbelievable level now. Because not only that, but you probably heard us say that in the millionaire study that we did, the number one career choice of millionaires is engineer. And
yes.
And we have two of them here. So
makes
they have
me
twice,
really
twice the shot at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
and
fun.
You've been through FPU, and you're thoroughly converted by less than 7. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, I still can't get over that, but yeah, it's good. It's
Well,
very good.
what a way to start your marriage. Like, you can just tell by the way y'all look at each other that you're so connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just powerful.
I love it. Hey, we got a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you. You'll be able to give that away as you continue to tell people what has happened in your life. We're so proud of you. You guys are amazing, amazing couple. And, of course, Baby Steps Millionaires, because that's the next chapter in your story. You're right on your way to that. And a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University that you can give away as you're talking about it. So the Live and Give bundle is just for you guys. We're so proud of you. Very, very, very well done. All right, if you got to tell people one thing or two things they got to do to get out of debt, what do you tell them?
Everybody says it's a budget, but it's true. You have to stick to it. And don't. Everybody has a mountain to climb. We all have. Doesn't matter how small or how large it is. We all have to do it. And so just stick with it. Stay on the path, and you'll climb that. It's one bite at a time, right? The elephant.
That's how you eat the elephant. Beautifully done. Well done. Brian and Valerie, Denver, Colorado. What a great story. $205,000 paid off, single and married, over 34 months, making $213 to $273. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
I'm debt-free! Yeah! That'll keep you coming back. I love it, baby. Woo! Woo! This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Romans 14:17. For the kingdom of God is not a matter of eating and drinking, but of righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Mark Twain said, to get the full value of joy, you must have someone to divide it with. Well done, Mark Twain. Mark Twain the romantic, who knew? Hey, folks, if you like this show, please do us a favor. We need 3 favors from you. One is subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on the podcast. Number 2, leave a review. That would be a 5-star review. We don't really need your 1 stars. Thank you very much. And share it with a friend. Tell somebody, listen. Tell somebody, jump in, be part of the program, be part of tell them what it's done for you. I mean, that young couple there, we got to meet them at the break. Absolutely amazing and just powerful stories. And you guys on radio, YouTube gets a little bit of glimpse of it, but on radio you didn't get to see her eyes. I mean, it just lit up. I mean, she's just on fire. And they Financial Peace University, the podcast, the whole thing, and now they're. I mean, what would you pay to get rid of $205,000 worth of debt? It's $99 to go through FPU. I mean, this is like a good trade. That's the way I see it.
This is a very good ROI.
Yeah, it's a good ROI. Daniel is with us in Mobile, Alabama. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. It's an honor to be on with you.
Well, thank you, sir. How can we help?
I've got 2 questions. My first question is the way the market is today. I've lost roughly $60,000. I've got a Vanguard Target retirement account.
Mm-hmm.
My question is to stop the bleeding.
So you got like $500,000 in it?
No, I had about $225,000 in it. And
you lost $60,000 since when?
Since about a year, in the past year.
Well, the market's down 13%. That wouldn't be $60,000 on 220.
Well, I'm down about 160.
Wow. You're down about 60, you said.
Yeah.
Down to 160, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I got
and
you.
my question, I've been listening to a lot of things on the radio, and I've talked to a few people. What is your opinion about indexed annuities? Would there be any advantage to go into something like that just to stop the bleeding?
Yeah, it's too late. I mean, you're not stopping the bleeding unless you think it's going to continue to bleed out, and I don't. And so the only person that gets hurt on a roller coaster is one jumps off in the middle of the ride. And so, I'm not sure that I'm a fan of your initial selection of funds. But how old are you?
66.
Okay, I'm 62, and I have mine across 4 types: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And in the last 12 months, the stock market and the Dow Jones has lost about 13%, and that's about what I'm down, is about 13%. You're down more than 13%, is what you're telling me. So I would not move it to indexed annuities. I don't have a dime in indexed annuities. So do you need the money today?
No.
Okay. You got other money?
Yes.
Okay. What's it in?
Well, I'm retired.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I've got my teacher retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my social security.
Mm-hmm.
I'm debt free.
Mm-hmm.
Except if I say a debt, I'm helping pay for law school for one of my daughter.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's really the only thing that I have.
That's your only nest egg.
Yes.
And you're living off of your teacher pension and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I had about $75,000 just in savings that I'd been diverting some to there to be ready for the law school tuition.
Good. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's where it should be. That's good. All right. Well, the target fund that you have, or the target funds that you have, what's the track record on them long term? How old are they?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
I got in about 2014.
Okay, so you've been in 8 years, and it's not been a problem. It's just this particular downturn, you really took it on the chin.
Yeah.
You've ridden out a couple of other downturns, though.
Yes.
Like spring of 2020, remember that? It dropped like crazy. Remember that?
I'll be honest with you. For most of the time, I don't even look at it.
Okay, all right. Well, if you go back and look, your fund, most funds dropped substantially around the COVID quarantine hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back in September. We're back to where they were. They're back even. But a lot of people jumped out with that downturn because they're freaking out over everything over COVID, right? And so right now we got a Biden freak out going on, or whatever you want to call it, inflation freak out. And corporate profits are down, and so stocks are down. And because inflation's putting the squeeze on the profit margins as well as causing prices to go up. So, Daniel, no index funds I would not do, to answer your question. What I would do is sit down with a SmartVestor Pro and let's do a little bit of learning, because I'm not sure I can answer your question without, I want to go back on this target fund and say, I've got to get comfortable with the history of it, that its recovery rate is about as good as the market's recovery rate. If I get comfortable with that, I'm probably just going to leave it alone. If I'm uncomfortable that this is a good selection and I need to move it into some other funds, I'm going to move it from one set of funds that are down to another set of funds that are down that have a better recovery rate when the market turns up.
I got you.
That's what I would do. But no, the index fund is mythology because it has to ride the other stuff too. It's indexed off the stock market. That's what it's indexed off of. And they put some checks and balances in there and charge you double commissions to where you think you've got your principal protected and other stuff. It's an insurance product. And so I wouldn't screw with it. I don't put any money in that kind of stuff. I just ride these waves. And the good news is you don't have to have the money and you can afford to ride the wave. What you need is, and what I would need if I were you, and I'm asking you to get this, is some intellectual comfort that the recovery rate on this fund when the stock market recovers is reasonable. That it's going to come back as the market comes back. Meaning that the fund is riding the market wave, not just a bad fund. And it's scaring me because it's down further than the market pretty substantially. So that's why I want you to look at that. If you told me you were off 13%, I'd just tell you to sit tight and ride it, because that's what the market's off. But when you're down more than 13% in 12 months, then if you're down from 220 to 160 in that period of time, then there's something else going on here, and I want to look at that. This may be a more volatile fund, which might mean it might recover faster, actually. So you just need to learn the fund. So jump on RamseySolutions.com, click on SmartVestor Pro, and learn. Because, Christina, the trick with this is history is the only shot you've got at getting some comfort on these things. I mean, if you look at a fund that's got an 80-year history, like I own one that's 80 years old, okay, and I can go back and go, it's got 11.2% rate of return for 80 freaking years. And it's down 13%, I can kind of be calm. You know, history gives me comfort, right? But if I don't know those things, then it's harder to be calm.
Yeah, and I think this is such an important conversation right now to have, because I think a lot of Gen Z millennials who this is their first time riding out, you know, a bear market, a rough market. It's just important. Like you said, the only person who gets hurt on a roller coaster is the person who jumped off. You know, it's just important to be able to look historically, you know, what are these markets like? And then just look at the funds and see the history, see the track record, and then have peace as you move forward and not freak out and jump off.
The great news is that Daniel can live on his pension and he can just leave this alone. And he can afford to let it ride back up. That's the great news in this call. So, very well done. Very well done. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Our thanks to Austin, Ben, Zach, Andrew, and James in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey. Christina Ellis, my co-host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Have you been inspired to make a change with your money? Want to know where to start? Take our 3-minute money quiz to get a plan you can follow. Go to RamseySolutions.com and search for Get Started to get a plan for your money.